All right, everybody. This is Daniel from Gamestingr. Welcome back to the weekly podcast. Today we have Jeff, we have Reese here. So today we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about streaming, and we're also going to be talking about Baldur's Gate. And Jeff has played, some Baldur's Gate. Of course, the game is not fully finished yet, but Jeff is going to give us his take on what he has experienced so far. And we also have some other topics, guys. So first off the bat, what are we going to be starting with, Jeff?
So for the first thing, I have Baldur's Gate right off the bat. So I know you guys talked about it. I think you guys are going to get it eventually. I picked it up early, and it is a lot of fun, actually. They went to the turn-based combat and stuff, so I can understand some people, it kind of slows the game down, but having grown up in like turn-based RPGs and stuff, it's really interesting. It works out really great. A really cool D&D setting. Like you said, it's still in beta, so they don't have all the classes and everything yet. But everything is looking good so far. And on Steam, 20,000 reviews, very positive. So a lot of people are enjoying it.
So I think we were going to originally play this last week because we were thinking about doing a Steam multiplayer thing, but I don't think it was available for this game, right?
Right. So Steam has the Steam Share, where if one person owns the game, they can play co-op with everybody else. The developers, Larian, they made another game, Divinity Original Sin, and it has it on there, so I think it's something that's coming probably after beta and stuff that they'll introduce the Steam Share, which will be really cool, because a lot of people love that feature, because you can go over to a friend's house and play PS4 together, so it's really cool that you can sit down and play a PC game together.
It's pretty cool. Well, look, I got some question about this turn-based thing, because not everyone is a fan of it. I'm not sure that I've ever been crazy about it. I mean, I just feel like it prolongs the game forever. And I'm just curious, since you played it, I didn't. How does this compare to the kind of turn-based that we're used to seeing in games like Final Fantasy, let's say, of years past, and other games like that?
Final Fantasy of old.
Okay. So, like, off of those Final Fantasy, you go into a whole nother loading screen for combat. In this, you can turn on turn-based for like turns and stuff, but you can just turn it on like an action RPG, so you run around freely, and then once you enter combat, it kind of slows everything down and goes into the turn-based, but there's not like a whole loading battle screen. So I think that's kind of cool. It plays on both those levels, and I don't know, I really like it. It's a cool blend of both of them.
Right on.
It's kind of what they did with the Final Fantasy 14, the latest one.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you could stop it and then pick what you could do. Not the 7th one, the 14th one or 15th one. I can't remember what it's called. So I used to play the Final Fantasy 10 and everything. They were great, but then I don't really like the new ones because they've just gone into like hack and slash territory.
Yeah, that was one of my big complaints about the Final Fantasy 7 remake, because it kind of slows it down during combat, but it's much more hack and slash, and you have to use your spells and everything a lot faster. So I don't know, but I think Baldur's Gate kind of plays into it both ways really well, shifting from the action RPG to the turn-based really well, and it's just D&D, so lots of
I've
options.
tried it, and I still haven't tried it. I'm scared to pick what class. I was looking at classes. I think it was last night, and I was looking for the class for. Oh my god, there's like 12 of them. I'm just sitting there thinking, I don't know what I'm going to pick. I'll probably pick the one that looks most weird. But
race or class?
Oh, race. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's going to be, once we get all three of us or something together, because I definitely think it will. It's almost like playing D&D by yourself. And so it's fun and it's cool, but if you have other people there to enjoy it with and like make decisions and stuff, and have like a full group, I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I read about the multiplayer. You can start like a whole campaign, can't you?
Yeah.
And then you can join in as well. But you can like start a whole campaign just with the people you're playing with. Sounds quite good.
Yeah,
I need to try it before. I need to try it before I stream. I'm just gonna walk around into walls or something.
Right. No, it's really cool how that works too, because like I'm playing a single, or like I'm playing by myself right now, but we could take your new character and you could join me in it, or we can just start a new campaign all together, or we can join your game with my character. So it's really cool how you can just kind of drag and drop your characters in.
Right on. Now, do you think that this kind of style, do you think it's gonna be big? Do you think this game is going to big? I think it's releasing next year. Is that right?
I don't think there's a set release date.
Oh yeah, right.
I tried to predict like when it would have a full release date.
Yeah, I don't know, but in the in the state that it's in right now, I mean, like, if you're playing early access, there's gonna be some issues here and there, but I played probably around 4 hours, and I don't think I really ran into any issues. There were some things that felt kind of clunky, running into things that weren't kind of like, there's maybe like a little pebble and you can't run over it or something, like little things like that. But for the most part, for an early access, like, it felt complete. The only thing that I noticed off the bat was like some of the classes were missing, and some of the cutscenes dialogue didn't match up correctly, but it was little things like that. So I think they have a lot of the base of it done. It's just going over and getting all those little details and stuff.
Okay. Look, I haven't played it yet. I look forward to playing it, to be honest. To playing it with you guys. I think it's going to be fun. I think, Reese, you bought the game. You just haven't really played it.
I just haven't had time now.
Right on.
Who has time?
It will be probably maybe tomorrow.
Right on.
Meant to be streaming on. Is it still Sunday?
What?
Sunday.
Oh yeah, we're planning maybe on doing
Sunday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're planning on maybe doing some streaming, right?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so this is the interesting thing to me. So today, like in 2020, 2021, the barometer for a game, well, I don't know if it really works out that way, but a lot of people look at the streaming potential for a game to kind of gauge its viability or its potential popularity. Now, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that a game like Baldur's Gate could really hit it off? Let's say on Twitch or on YouTube or whichever other streaming platform there is.
I watched a bit of someone playing it yesterday, and they've added like a feature where you can like kind of not join the game, but you can vote. When you have multiple choices. I haven't played it. You probably know about that, Jeff, but I don't. But you can, like, the people who are watching can pick like what they can do, kind of thing, or vote on it.
It's like a pick your own adventure.
Interactive is quite good, yeah. So the people watching can do that.
So people watching can actually tell you what to do in the game?
Yeah.
Kind of thing? Interesting.
It's an open answer kind of thing, like The Witcher or any of BioWare's games, where you kind of pick how you want the story to progress and what you want to say and stuff. So that's kind of an interesting way of doing it, having like your viewers and stuff kind of pick your path and stuff. So that's kind of a cool, like, interactive, choose your own adventure kind of thing. I was gonna say
that is really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna think, like, I think Baldur's Gate kind of already has its built-in fan base, so I like, that sounds cool. I would do something like that, but I guess for somebody who's like on the fence, like, oh, I don't know about Baldur's Gate, I don't know if they'd change their mind in a viewing, but I don't know, because I think the difference between Baldur's Gate and like is D&D can be complex, especially if you go into Baldur's Gate expecting like an action RPG or something, and having each race have different passive feats, and you have to pick your skill points, and not knowing that you only get 2 spells at level 3 or something. Like, I can see how it can be overwhelming, and I think that base is already there.
Yeah, there's a massive fan base there. We'll probably just play that game now.
Yeah, definitely. It's similar to something like EverQuest or WoW. Like you have those built-in players who are going to be there no matter what. I think that's kind of how it is for Baldur's Gate or any D&D game.
Now the question is that fan base going to come back like in droves to the game? And if not, is the game going to be able to kind of cater to a new sort of audience? Because Baldur's Gate, of course, has been around for a long time, so a lot of the players are probably my age, if not older. You know, so no, there are no spring chickens. No, I'm not old, but you know,
the beginning of the internet.
Medium aged. I mean, I remember the first Baldur's Gate when it came out, so I guess that's pretty old.
I'm a little medium rare.
Yeah, so you guys are spring chickens, but I mean, you guys do play Baldur's Gate, but today today there's a lot of competition, you know, and there's a lot of different kind of games. And for these kind of turnstile RPGs, like you need a little bit more patience. You need to be kind of more involved into the story, into the game, into what happens. So that's kind of what I'm saying with the new fan base. I'm not sure their attention span is where it needs to be, but I don't know.
There's no Fortnite players going to go play Baldur's Gate tonight.
I play Fortnite.
Okay, there's one. There's one. There he is.
We got the only guy on the planet that plays both.
We found.
Play too many genres of games.
No, but I do think that like the whole interactive kind of pick your story, kind of like in a live kind of setting. I think it's pretty interesting because if you look at Twitch and stuff, you don't just have to be playing Fortnite for it to do well. You could do just chatting. Or you could play poker or other kinds, even D&D, even chess has a fan base.
There's people drawing on there, so yeah, there's a little bit of everything. Oh yeah, there's
people playing really old games. People play retro games and everything on there now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's his name? Games. Jim Lee, the comic book artist. I think his name's Jim. But
he's a comic book artist.
Yeah. He streams. He does Twitch and stuff and does like drawings and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. Like he'll start from a blank piece of paper and draw like Spider-Man or something, and then he'll do like a giveaway.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
Got to watch it.
I wish I could do shit like that.
Yes.
Might just be a stick figure, just all over the page. Just keep on drawing stick figures.
Yes, with the little Gamestingr logo.
We didn't even draw that. We paid people to draw that logo.
That's the way to do it.
That's about as creative as we get in here, but never mind
templates.
That. Yeah, no, actually, Jeff, you're pretty good. You're pretty good at that. You've done some stuff, but I'm more speaking for myself. It's okay. You pay people to.
Just a cheap plug of every podcast.
There you are again, pimping out your magazine on the Gamestinger feed. Shake my head.
They're all.
Have you played? Sorry.
What?
Have you played all the other Baldur's Gates?
Have I played what?
Have you played all the past Baldur Gates and
yeah.
Original Sin? Yeah. Would you say this would be the best one, even though if it got quite a few glitches on there?
Yeah.
That is your experience.
Yeah. No, I really like this one. I think it's the best one, and I think that just comes with, a new year. We're in 2020. I think that the technology is just. I think the only thing that would probably do it for me is just nostalgia and like those. I mean, they have their own stories, and so like if I was in the mood for a certain story, I may go back. But as far as like gameplay and stuff, like I think this one's by far the best.
Pretty cool. All right, so Baldur's Gate, definitely a game to look out after. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it has some good potential to do well. The reviews are positive. So we'll see how it progresses. I mean, all the glitches and stuff, all of that is just normal. There's some games like I think we've already trashed WWE 2K20, but there's some games that come out in full version that are unplayable. So it doesn't sound that bad.
No.
Yeah. All right, guys. I was gonna say. So we also want to talk a little bit. So we have some other topics for today. So we wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess, the state of streaming, or what is streaming like in 2020.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this just to kind of make it interesting.
All right.
But let me pull up. First, I'll pull up this tweet.
They're doing massive construction. Somebody's rebuilding their driveway, so there's all kinds of trucks here. So it looks like. No, you won't hear it because I think the mic's not going to pick up that sound. But there's like big trucks. It's like a construction zone here. It's crazy. Anyways. Yeah, so the state of streaming, I think we wanted to kind of touch on the subject. I don't know if Reese or Jeff, you guys want to start, and then I can go ahead.
I have the tweet pulled up. I'll read it real quick, and then we can kind of go from there. Because this is gonna be.
Let's do it.
This is from the like higher up of the owner of Steam, isn't it?
Alex
what's it called? Stadia.
Google Stadia.
Yeah. Okay.
So this guy said, streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone on, or it's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content that they use. So that's the it goes on. Some people, chimed in, but that is the first collage that started this off.
So I had no idea about that tweet before, so that's why it's that's an interesting tweet. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit. So what he's saying that streamers should pay rights to be able to stream the game. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, he's comparing it to, like, say, movies paying for rights to use the music.
So if you buy a CD, you've bought the music, technically.
Yeah.
If you want to use it and make money off of it in a film or something, you have to purchase the rights to use it.
That's right. So it's kind of like a royalty thing where the owner of said music would get a kickback every time someone uses the music in a way so as to make money off of it. So he's arguing that the same thing should be true for streamers.
Yes.
I find that ridiculous.
Okay, I'll let you guys.
It's ridiculous. Okay. So I'll just say one thing. So I'll say I agree with him on one thing, which is that yes, the reason why it's allowed to happen is because publishers or game owners allow video game players to use the game for free and to create content off of the game for free. That is true. The game developers could say, you know what, streamers, screw you. I am going to make you pay for this. If you want to use any part of my game, you are going to have to pay me money so you can do that. Yes, they could do that. They don't, and they haven't, and I think there's a good reason for it. And that reason is because it's free freaking publicity. And I think everyone gets that. Like when you go on Twitch and you see like 100 people streaming COD, what do you want to do? You want to play COD. You see like 100 people playing Valorant. What do you want to do? You want to play Valorant because all the cool kids in school are playing Valorant. So I think that's the logic. The logic is that it's publicity. And I don't feel like it's the same thing as using a piece of music, for commercial games. Just my opinion. I don't feel like it is. However, it's possible that at some point in the future it could change if video games say get too big and they don't need the publicity anymore. Like for example, if you're Michael Jackson, you don't need some regular Joe playing your music just to get publicity. Everyone already knows who you are. Everyone loves you. So I don't know. I find that it's a bit of a different kind of business or a different. It's just a different kind of thing. I can see the logic, but I just don't feel like it makes a lot of sense for a game developer because no one's going to pay. First of all, how would it work? Because when it comes to a music piece, let's say a song, the song is 3 minutes long. You pay for the right to use it once. That's fine. When it comes to a video game, like, what are you going to pay? Are you going to pay to use it based on how many minutes you play of the game and you showcase it to the public? Are you going to pay it on a per game basis? How would it work? Because, for example, some people just stream COD 24/7, like 365 days a year, right? They stream the same game, and some people might stream it for a day or two. So would it be the same price? I just feel like the way that games themselves are streamed makes that question just very, very complex. And a lot of people stream games and make no money anyways, but they still create publicity for the games. I think the issue would be more if streaming video games was taking away from the profit margins of game developers and game companies. I think that's when this issue would kind of come to the forefront. But until that happens, I don't think that most game developers are going to have an issue with it because it's free publicity. And we all know that the video game market is just increasing and getting bigger all the time. And you're not going to tell me that all this streaming boom hasn't had an effect on that. So I think that's kind of my opinion on it.
Reese, you want to go?
A lot of games have became popular because of the streaming, and I don't think if the people doing that would have to pay royalties for the games they're playing, I don't think half the games what become popular would be popular now. Like Among Us, that got found because of like a popular Twitch person playing it. I don't remember the name, but that wouldn't become popular. They would still be making their sequel and not going back to fix that game.
Exactly.
Like, streaming's like quite new as well, and it's made a complete difference to the industry so much. Doing something like he mentioned would be stupid. And on that as well, I read into more of it. Google actually said something about it because it was that bad. I apologized for it in another statement.
Really?
Yeah. Now Jeff's going to be on his side in a second.
Yeah. So, okay, before I get into this, I just want to say that, like you guys, I see the logic, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense. For a conversation's sake, I'm just going to play devil's advocate. So I was kind of thinking about this last night, about like kind of the whole argument of like, well, they're putting eyes on these games. Without it, they wouldn't be popular. It's like, well, there's a lot of small music that gets noticed because movies. Where do you know that song? Well, it was in this movie. Okay, well, they're getting noticed, but that doesn't mean that they didn't have to pay for it. For instance, I have to pay for this font for the logo of my magazine. I have to pay for it. I'm giving them free publicity for this font. What if people see this font and want to use this font? Well, I still had to pay for it. Now, like you said, though, with the idea
but Jeff,
of streaming...
The difference is, though, with your example, is that, first of all, no one's going to know that the font you have is trademarked, right? Because it's not like people are like going around and looking, hey, what is a cool font that is trademarked that I can use? Like, there might be one guy, but people are noticing the game right away. So when you go on Twitch, you see a guy, you see a top, let's say Summit 1G, or let's say Ninja or something, right? He's playing, he usually plays Fortnite or whatever. Let's say he's playing Among Us, or let's say he's playing a new game. Let's say he's playing Baldur's Gate, right? You see that guy, he's playing Baldur's Gate. He's a top Twitch guy. This guy is basically a celebrity. You're like, oh my God, this game, I didn't really hear about it. Let me check it out. Like, the buzz it creates is like automatic, right? Like, people notice it right away, and the buzz is basically automatic. So the marketing potential is pretty huge. Now, I'm just gonna.
So it's like,
I just wanted to mention something. Yeah, because Reese said something. So I think there's a difference between small developers and big developers. So what this quote was saying is that all of the industry should be run the same. But this is the thing, guys. If, say, a small developer wants some attention on his game, then he's not going to ask for royalties for people streaming his game, right? So let's say that Activision are being jackasses with COD, and all of a sudden they start charging royalties because everyone's streaming COD, and all of a sudden they have this massive ego trip. Like, you know, we're already raking in like billions of dollars or whatever, but we want more. So we're gonna charge people just to stream this crap. And
the first game who actually tried to get royalties for someone streaming their game.
COD?
Well, imagine like the first game to do this.
Yeah.
That game would get trashed. It would get completely trashed. Like the game, the developers, it would get smashed. And it would create such negative publicity, and that would give the opportunity to somebody else to kind of step in and just take over that spotlight. So let's say a small developer, you know, was developing a competitor to COD or whatever the game, right? And they see CODs making this boneheaded, retarded move by charging people to stream this crap. They put their game up. They don't ask for any royalties. Boom, people switch over. The negative publicity and all of that. People switch over. All of a sudden, in a year, COD is dead and everyone is playing another game. So, you know, like...
Do you think the streaming industry has that much power over something, though? Because, for instance, I don't watch a lot of streaming. I don't let it influence me a whole lot. So even if something like that did happen, I'd probably still play the game that I liked. If I liked it, I would still play it. Just because somebody can't stream it or didn't want to pay to stream it, I don't know if that would have much of an effect on me.
Fair enough. For me personally, no, it doesn't really affect my decisions all that much. But for example, I think it does for most people. And let's just look at COD, for example. Would COD really be all that popular if all the top streamers basically were streaming something else? I'm not sure, you know? Like, is the game really that good?
I mean, before Twitch, it was popular. You know, there was tons of online players, and even I used to play Call of Duty.
No,
I don't know what that means. Even I used to.
No, I know that, but has Twitch helped it maintain its popularity or even gain on its popularity? And I feel like the answer is yes. And so that's kind of my opinion.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with you guys. I just wanted to play devil's advocate, make a little bit of a conversation, because I can see where he's coming from. Because if you look at it from its face, it's unlike any of those other entertainment industries, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But in the terms of what people are using it for and how it's essentially, it's more of like a free commercial for the game.
Okay, so I was just going to mention another thing. So the way trademarks work, or the way trademarks, right? Like copyrights and all that. The way copyrights work. So the way they work is, like, for example, if you go on YouTube and you're just going to rip a clip of something else, like say an NFL game, you rip 15 seconds and you just post it, you're going to get flagged for copyright infringement. However, if you modify the content to a sufficient level, and you know, there's guidelines on how to do that, because people will still post NFL games and whatnot, but they modify it, they change things, they do things to it, and it doesn't get flagged. However, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, because you were talking over the game, and because you were creating a narrative, you're enhancing the entertainment, you're transforming it, right? It's different. It's not just a game anymore. It's also about you talking about the game, and I think that can be the argument that it's more about the personality of the streamer, and that's what people come to see there, and not just about the game. It's kind of like it's a joint kind of effort of creating this piece of entertainment, this piece of art.
So since we're talking about like music and film and stuff as like an example to compare it to, so like, I don't know if people do this. I think they do, but I mean, like, you can make your own commentary track over a film.
Exactly.
So yeah, because I think Kevin Smith does that. He'll watch like Batman films and then he'll commentate over it and be like, "Oh, by the way, when I saw this, I was 16 and it blew my fucking mind." And he tells all this shit and he tells a story as he does it. So I think but I don't know that he's playing the audio as he does it. So I don't know.
I think he does like a watch along. I think you're meant to like watch the film
and
then you watch that video as well.
So that, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
So a lot of people do it with, like, say, pay-per-views. People, like, have their live stream on at the same time as the pay-per-view. I think it's something along them lines.
Right.
Pay-per-views, really?
Yeah, like a lot of the wrestling YouTubers I watch do like watch-alongs on the pay-per-view. So you can say on your phone you're watching a YouTuber and the pay-per-view's on, you can watch along kind of with them. I think Kevin Smith does the same with films. Not 100%.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But it's not. But like, I don't know. See, this is where it's like you can kind of understand what he's talking about because you're still using the gameplay, the audio, the video, like you're using all of it as you're talking over it. And with stuff like that, like you're just kind of talking about it separately. So it's kind of an interesting gray area where I can see both sides of it and it makes sense to me. But the way that the industry is working right now, this is the way that it's been designed. This is what Twitch is for. And this is what's promoting people and games. So it's interesting. It's a weird, Twitch is a weird industry.
But at the same time, though, has there been much fuss made about this whole streaming thing and how it's unjust for the game companies? Has any serious game company come out recently and said, you know, this is bull crap, the way people use their games for free and make money? I mean, okay, so
live stream, they do. They seem to, you know, when people live stream, say, the past PS4 event or Direct or E3, that's good. That's the most place I've saw it. They act kind of funny with the content creators who live stream that. They usually like take the monetization away or do something weird with their video.
Yeah,
companies have done that.
That's interesting too. Because I mean, like, if you watch an HBO show, you can't stream it every week.
You can't.
Legally, you know.
Yeah, legally is the key word here.
Yeah. So that exactly. That's what's weird about it. How come it's legal to do that, not legal to do that? But I think I did read something about a lot of games. I think you mentioned it, like their copyright and stuff. It includes streaming, so it's not like
it's marketing for it.
Yeah, so
like
it's not
the correct
right.
I think even some indie companies speak to content creators.
Oh yeah,
like they might even pay some people to play it. I'm not sure about that, but some might.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a massive grey line. I don't agree what he said at all. But
at all?
No. But it's the worst thing as well that they're like the higher up in Stadia who said this, and it's not really the best gaming company doing well, is it?
Yeah,
if PlayStation said it, you'd be like, oh, okay, still got to play a PlayStation, but Stadia, like, oh, I'm not going to bother even more with this thing anymore.
I think the statement says more about Google Stadia than it does about anything else.
Even Google came up to say a statement. It's crazy.
Like, why is Google Stadia failing? Well, I mean, if you read that code, you're like, okay, it's run by these people. Okay, I guess that makes sense. This is a bus console or whatever it is.
It feels like a PR stunt.
Yeah, like just to get some buzz.
Here we are. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it. We're talking about Google Stadia. We're talking about streaming. It feels like it's one of those calculated who's going to take the heat and get us some buzz kind of thing. Who's going to take one for the team? And he's like, I'll do it.
Amazon have kind of made like a Linux or something now. What's going into that kind of market they're in? So maybe it's just to take some like views from what they're doing to them. If that is if they are doing that, it's good timing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I will say another thing though, just to be fair. So some streamers make a lot of money, right? They make a lot of money by using owned. I think we call it owned media, which is media that's already there. So they take something that's already there, and they add their own spin to it, and they enhance it or whatever, and create something else. But what they're doing wouldn't be possible if the original media wasn't there in the first place. So it's not like they're creating something completely from scratch, right? And some of these streamers are making a lot of money. Like some of them are making like millions and tens of millions of dollars. I mean, the top guys. But in general, there's a lot.
Sorry,
I know, right? I know. Well, Ninja is making like 10 million more, whatever. Anyways,
that's what
the amounts are staggering. So you look at some top streamers, and they're making what like pro athletes can be making. Like that's how much potential there is in the streaming business. And so at some point, you might think that the game companies or whatnot might want a cut of that money. It's they are using their creations, and the market is really growing fast. So you're like, hold on a second here. There's all this money that are made by all these creators, and maybe a cut of that. Why not? And of course, right now, you can agree or disagree with what Google Stadia, the guy, whatever his name is saying. But the fact of the matter is that the reason why this is allowed to go on is because it's uncontested. So the way it works is that if somebody does something and no one contests it, then people will keep doing it until someone has an issue with it. Like someone takes an issue with it and says, no, this violates my rights because of X, Y, and Z reason. And they go to court and they have a fight. And then, eventually this is decided one way or another. This hasn't really seemed to be the case with streaming. For whatever reason, free publicity or whatnot, perhaps some game companies weren't aware of how much money some of these creators are making, and stuff like that. But maybe at some point they could change their stance. Who knows? It's possible, and the money that is going into streaming seems to be increasing. The young generation just keeps watching more and more, YouTube videos, Twitch streamers, and whatnot. So it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I can see the logic there, and I do think that it's becoming a large enough chunk of the pie that there's potential to be some conflict there in the future.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. Wherever the money is, there's going to be people, trying to wedge themselves into it and get a piece. So it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts, where it's kind of the wild, wild west, really. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we're going to get on it, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting on it, but we're
get our piece.
We're starting from the bottom, but it's okay. Well, eventually we're gonna get to the top.
We'll all be millionaires. Don't worry. That's how it works. But that real quick too. That's funny too, because as we're talking about this, we're thinking about those top dogs. But how many hundreds of thousands of streamers are there who we don't know? When we're talking about all this publicity, we're talking about, a handful of maybe the top 50, maybe 100, top 100 guys in the world who are, streaming and making a living, a very well living. But for every one of those, there's tens of thousands who are just coming home from work, streaming for a couple hours and not really getting anything.
And if they did do it as well, it'd probably be like one payment and then you're able to stream it kind of thing. Imagine if you have like 20 like people watching every day or something. It's not really going to be. They probably wouldn't do it.
Right. Yeah, it's get it while you can, because with money like this and how much they're making, it's just a matter of time before those slimy hands start reaching into the pot.
I could see a company like EA, being one of the first to kind of try to get it. Those damn streamers.
You want to stream?
We're not ripping them off enough by giving them the same crap year after year after year after year after year. We want a chunk of that money that they're getting from streaming.
You want to stream our shitty football game? You better fucking pay up.
Yeah, well, look, guys. I feel like this opinion will be pretty unanimous. I mean, this Google Stadia guy, he's the real villain here. I mean, it's pretty unanimous. Like which gamer is gonna be like, yeah, I totally agree with this guy. Like, I should totally pay money just to stream my shit. This totally makes sense. Like, he's making himself. This is the thing that I don't get though, is people in the gaming industry. Like, we've seen Microsoft kind of pull some dumb moves last generation with the Xbox One, and forcing people to, I forget what they were doing, like the rights on their consoles was like 1 CD per console, whatever. They were forcing people into doing some things that didn't really benefit the gamer, only clearly benefited the company. And like whenever you go against gamers and kind of like the gamer mindset, you're always just going to lose. It's never going to play out in your favor. Like I don't know. It's just dumb, which is why I have to think that it has to be a publicity stunt, because it is so mind-numbingly dumb to say something like that. As someone that represents a game company, it's just stupid. I just don't understand it. It's not, and it's not like Google Stadia needs more negative publicity, right? But maybe they do.
How can we make this worse? Get out there, Alex. Make us proud.
Yeah.
Does anyone own a Google Stadia? No.
I don't think I've even downloaded it. I don't think I've ever opened it or anything.
I've never even bothered looking into it.
I have Steam.
It's like cool.
It's like the games. I don't think most games don't even come out when they come out on, say, PlayStation and Xbox. They don't come out straight away on Stadia. Like, fair enough if you're waiting for it to come out on Steam, but I don't think they come out straight away on.
We're gonna take a look at this real quick.
Reese, I'm not even sure what games come out on Google Stadia, because I don't really.
I think it released like Destiny, and that was it. I think.
I know they released Destiny, and that was a big deal. What was that, like 3 years ago, or 2, 3, 4 years ago? I don't even remember. I know they had a Mortal Kombat game on it, because I've seen some celebrity playing it and advertised that he was playing on Google Stadia.
The new Ubisoft, that Immortal Phoenix, that's very going towards Stadia for some reason.
So
yeah, because Google paid the money. Well, why else would we go into Stadia?
I went to the website, and the first thing that pops up is the try Stadia Pro free for 1 month, $10 a month after that. You scroll down, free games with Stadia. That's not free. You're fucking paying $10 a month for it. So if you have a subscription,
games as well.
If you have a subscription, you still have to buy the games.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't need to pay for Steam.
I swear you do.
Similar to the way you already stream TV shows or music, Stadia streams your games directly to your desktop. So I guess you don't have to download it, but I'm not gonna pay $10 a month for that.
So basically, what the Game Pass is doing, but a rubbish kind of rate.
Yeah, I'm good. See all games. So there's stuff. There's Destiny 2. There's Dead by Daylight. There's Hitman.
One. There's the second one out, and the third will come out in January.
PUBG. But I mean, a lot of these are kind of. They have Assassin's Creed, but a lot of these are small. Celeste, Ember, Hello Neighbor. This is indies. Orcs Must Die 3. There's not a lot of AAA games on here with like big followings.
No, are you sure Mortal Kombat isn't on there? I was pretty sure it was.
Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
NBA 2K.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you look, you're looking at just look at Cyberpunk. Is Cyberpunk releasing on Stadia? I don't think so.
I haven't.
It like when you look at a game and you're like, okay, what system is this releasing on? Okay, PS4, Xbox, PC. You don't really see Stadia usually anywhere. Like, Stadia is so not on the radar. It's.
And I mean, it's 2020, so 2009. Internet probably wouldn't have been quite quick enough to stream a game, but in 2020, is disk space really an issue for anybody?
Yeah.
Really?
It is.
It
is
on PlayStation, like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Massive.
Oh, right. But I mean on like PC.
Oh, a little bit, not really that much.
I mean, like, PCs are made now with typically like a terabyte of storage. I'm like, I have 132 games on Steam downloaded. I don't see the need to save on download space to stream something. And what if your internet's out? You can still play a single-player Steam game, but you can't stream a Google Stadia game.
I think it's like you can use like a little dongle and put it in your telly and stuff like that on the go and stuff. I think.
Yeah, you can.
Apparently, it was like really there's a massive delay as well sometimes when you play. I saw a couple of videos when I was looking into this yesterday, and someone was pressing spacebar to jump, and it took like 3 seconds for them to actual jump. And stuff like that.
Because you can play remotely with Steam. Like, I could use my phone as a screen and play with a controller and stuff.
Oh.
So, I mean, Steam. I'm not endorsed by Steam, but Steam. Google Stadia ain't got shit on Steam.
Well, the Game Pass out on phones as well.
My opinion is that Google Stadia came out like 10 years too soon. You know, I don't feel okay. So I just recently too soon. So I just recently upgraded my internet from I had like 20 megs download or whatever, and like 1 meg upload. So imagine me playing a multiplayer game on Stadia with that internet. Virtually impossible, because you're downloading the game, and while you're playing multiplayer, you have to upload at the same time. Everything would be completely fricked up. I would get like, the graphics would be all glitchy. It would be in like 240p, and it would be, it would be a terrible experience. And I'm not sure that everyone has the internet speed still, even though it's 2020, to really fully take advantage of Google Stadia to kind of make it the standard. Just like 4K hasn't been the standard, it still isn't the standard 4K. It's like, like people have 4K TVs, but there's almost nothing to watch in 4K still in 2020. It's pretty crazy. So I feel like Google Stadia came out a little bit too soon, and I don't feel like the market is quite there enthused to playing games through the cloud quite as much, because Google Stadia selling pitch is very simple. It's, look guys, you don't need a big system. Just buy this relatively inexpensive dongle or use the app on your phone or whatever, and you just get a controller and you can play. Yeah, whatever.
I like saying that.
Something quid for the dongle. The whole setup.
Dongle. You need a dongle.
And you can play the game pretty easy peasy, right? And so they're kind of making it seem like the barrier to entry to playing these top games is very low, but the internet is a big issue. And of course, if you're playing multiplayer, then the input delay, the lag, is going to become a big issue. So as you're downloading the game, you're downloading this big game, and you're uploading data and stuff like that. You need a really, really fast internet speed to really be able to have like a seamless experience. And I just don't feel like most people are there today. I just updated my internet like a week and a half ago, literally, to, now I have like 400 megs and 50 or 60. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people in my neighborhood are the same because the wires aren't updated and whatever. So I just don't feel like the market was where they expected it to be at the time. I think it'll get there eventually. I do think that probably cloud gaming is the way of the future at some point. I just don't think it's now. And I don't blame Google for making that investment, because they had to be different, I feel like, and they have the technology, they have the capacity to do it. But like in 5-7 years, probably next generation, guys, it's going to be a lot of cloud gaming. No?
Are you in on cloud gaming?
I don't like cloud gaming. Cloud gaming or clown gaming?
Like I don't know. I don't know if that doesn't.
Is the now, like, say the now PlayStation Now and the Game Pass classed as cloud gaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's the same thing as basically Google Stadia. It just actually has more games on it.
Both the games they've got on both of them. PlayStation Now isn't even that good, but it's still better than Google Stadia.
Oh yeah. And
Google Stadia is mainly that, and somehow like a tacked on thing like PlayStation Now is better.
Yeah.
Like, Game Pass is going like above and beyond and everything, but Google Stadia is still below that as well. I don't know what they're trying to do. That even on the page that advertising Hitman 1 when that's been out for 4 years now, and there's a second one.
A while, yeah.
And there's the second one out, and the third one coming out at the start of next year.
Yeah,
I read they've announced that the third one's coming to Stadia quite early, but they still haven't changed anything to promote it.
That might be the only way for something like Google Stadia to stick out, is if they had like early release.
There's a demo now for the new Ubisoft game, where it's like used to be called Gods and Monsters. They have a demo on that, and it's only on that, I think.
Only on Stadia?
Yeah. I watched YouTube yesterday, and it says it was only on that. I'm not sure if he was right or not. It used to be called Gods and Monsters. It's called Immortal Phoenix.
The developers must have got a huge chunk of change to only put their game out on Google Stadia, because
Ubisoft as well. They're not doing like amazingly well at the minute, with all the games kind of being samey.
So what does Ubisoft have? They have The Division. They have
Assassin's Creed. Watch Dogs. They did that Mario and Rabbids on Switch.
Yeah, they did. Right, that was like 2 years.
Yeah, they're doing another one. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like a strategy game on PC. They do quite a lot, but a lot of their, like, say, console games are just bullet sponging, just going in and just shooting people on RPGs, and it's just weird.
I'm not a fan of Activision personally. I have nothing against it, but I don't.
Oh, Ubisoft.
Sorry, Ubisoft. Yeah. Sorry, I don't find myself playing a lot of their games. That's mainly because I'm not a fan of. I'm not a big fan of Assassin's Creed. I mean, I haven't really given it a chance lately, but I feel like that's their big franchise.
I like the new ones. The new ones kind of changed it. It used to be kind of single story, stealthy kind of stuff, and now it's like an open world RPG.
Yeah, right. I don't like how all their games are kind of just RPGs.
They're all kind of the same, aren't they? Just like setting is different. There's not much to differentiate the games.
But it's kind of similar to The Division. Still, like post-apocalyptic, like, I don't know, just everything's gone to shit. Just weird. It seems all the same. Even though I play them, it seems all the same.
Yeah, I think we're in a weird spot where kind of like different games have different formats, different and so I'm not sure that we're getting a ton of variety in the games that we're getting today. I feel like we're getting a lot of the same. Copycat games are a big thing now. Copycat modes and like, oh my god, you have a battle royale. Oh, here's a battle royale too. Oh my god, let's all have a battle royale. And it's a giant battle royale fun. It's like,
I can't wait for the Madden battle royale. That's gonna be dope.
There you go, man. You're gonna have it sooner or later. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but you're gonna have it for sure.
I think that battle royale trend's starting to die at the minute. Personally, that's what I think.
Thank God.
I'm not
even though like the ones will keep on getting supported. I don't think many people will make new ones. Like there was Hyperscape, also by Ubisoft, what just felt like it was behind. That's another thing. Like they always seem to be like 2 steps behind. Like Assassin, the Vikings like genre was like felt like 2 years ago. Now they're rumored the next Assassin's Creed going to be in like samurai thing, and that's kind of been the focus of this year. They always seem behind as well.
It's true.
Now they're going to Stadia like 3 years late. Behind as well.
I guess they do have that. You're right, Reese. This is my issue with the company, as they have that unoriginal, lack of creativity kind of feeling to them. It does feel like they wait a little bit until they're behind the curveball, and then they kind of like, oh, okay. Okay, so in 2019 and 2020, wow, we had like 10 samurai games, Neo, Ghost of Tsushima. We had a whole bunch. Wow, it did pretty good. Oh, it's a samurai game. It's like, but I feel like that's been kind of their motto for a while. Even like with the Assassin's Creed game, I feel like it was a little bit like that too. So it's kind of the reason why I'm not a big fan of the company, and I never feel like they quite execute the topics they do, the gameplay, the stories, as well as the other games that they are kind of copying or at least taking bits and pieces from.
Yeah. Definitely. But we'll always have them. We can always count on them to underachieve.
I didn't know. I don't know if this is a widespread opinion. I don't know if people feel the same way about them. Because I know the games are still popular. Like I still feel like Assassin's Creed and things like that. I still feel like they sell.
They have a lot of popular series, but like that, they changing it to an RPG did bring back a lot of the audience.
I picked it up because of that.
Yeah. And they're even bringing back the stealth mechanics kind of in the next one, but still keeping the RPG, because they took away like one of their biggest traits, like the hidden blade.
Yeah, no shit.
Such stupid reason, and then they just brought it back in the trailer.
They took it away?
Yeah, they took it away for like 2 games.
And like in the
trailer, they kind of like did like the thing, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, they brought it back." Yeah, even I was like that, even though I have bad feelings about Ubisoft. I like their games, but it just feels like they're so behind. One day they're going to get so far behind, it's just going to be pointless.
So it'll depend on their sales. It'll depend on their sales. So I feel like this kind of lack of creativity is a consequence either of incompetence, which there might be plenty of that to go around, or perhaps kind of like just being stuck in their comfort zone. And they're just doing something, and it doesn't matter that they're not groundbreaking anything. It still works. They're still selling games, and they're happy with that. They're happy with letting other companies, Sony, whoever, kind of take the mantle of coming up with these creative ideas, and they're happy just using that later because they still feel comfortable with what they can sell.
They have their base. They have their base. Why fix what's not broke? I mean, if their base is still going to buy their product, then.
Oh, they have Far Cry as well.
Oh,
yeah, Far Cry.
I hate Far Cry. I think it's it can be fun, but it's like when they came out with Far Cry 5 and then New Dawn, it's like, why get New Dawn? It's just like a new skin. It's the same game. Even from
it was set after it, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, but even like Far Cry Primal to Far Cry 5, like Primal was cool because it was like Stone Age stuff, and Far Cry 5 is the same fucking game, just with a new story. But like everything is the same. There's different encampments you take over. You send a thing up in the sky to scout. You can crouch and go hidden, and it's the same thing.
They try and put like the focus on the villain, but then I don't think they realize you don't play as the villain.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, Far Cry 3. Like,
you see him for like 5 minutes, and then like you're playing as a random character. You have no clue who it is.
Yeah. But I don't know. I enjoy him.
Saying that, there are rumors that Vaz is going to be the main character in the next one.
Yeah, I saw that, and like
what we wrote about when it first came.
Gus Fring is his dad and stuff, and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That could change it, but there's still going to be probably the exact same kind of gameplay. Here, do that same thing every time.
Instead of camps, it'll be buildings or something like.
Basically, Google Stadia and Ubisoft, or the both companies, will just be fine. They're nearly the same.
They should come together.
They have.
Don't give Google any ideas. They might go ahead and buy Ubisoft.
Could they? I bet they could.
Yeah, they probably could.
I wonder how much it would cost. So if Bethesda went for what was it?
Is Ubisoft bigger than Bethesda? Yeah, 7.5 billion or million? Can't remember.
Billion.
Jeez. Billion.
So Ubisoft is bigger than Bethesda.
Probably twice as much, maybe.
They have different franchises, but wouldn't
Bethesda in France?
I think Bethesda's more popular with Elder Scrolls and Fallout and stuff.
I feel like Bethesda feels more like quality. Like it feels like you're shopping at.
You're paying for those bugs.
Yeah, exactly, right. You're paying for those bugs. Whereas Ubisoft feels like you're shopping at H&M or something, like, you know, one of the
what then that makes
like a level below Gap or something.
Then
I don't know.
Then EA is like the dollar store.
I'm not. I have to think about that analogy a little bit, just to
in terms of
on the
quality.
next video.
Yeah.
It's definitely around the dollar store level for both EA and Ubisoft. It's cheap garbage that you can find elsewhere for much better quality. And that's just what it feels like. I just think that Bethesda feels a little more quality. Like, perhaps the games recently have sucked and full of bugs, but the franchises themselves, like, you know, Elder Scrolls and, you know, and Fallout and stuff, feel like they are worth more than what Ubisoft. But I could be wrong because I don't know. I mean, like, for
have a better writing team compared to Ubisoft.
Yeah,
I think that's a massive difference.
So this is the thing. I feel like when Microsoft bought Bethesda, I feel like they paid a lot for the potential of Bethesda. I'm not sure that their sales are really, like, if you look at their sales, I don't know. I didn't, so perhaps I shouldn't be assuming. But I feel like Ubisoft will probably blow Bethesda out of the water in terms of how much money they make based on sale because of the number of franchises.
A lot more games.
Ubisoft. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you would think that they probably would be worth more as a result of that, but you just don't know. Like, sometimes perception can really elevate a company, and I feel like perhaps that's what happened with Bethesda a little bit. I don't know. Maybe.
I just pulled up. Okay, so that's just Ubisoft for the fourth quarter is 417 million for the quarter.
In sales?
What? Yeah. Why can't I just see if I can pull up like a annual report? There we go.
I forgot they made Rage.
Oh yeah, Rage. Oh wow, I have to download this whole thing.
Screw that. Too much work.
All right. Well, I was gonna look, but this seems like.
No, maybe we can start off. What?
Nothing. This is a lot.
Oh yeah. Because if you look at financial reports, that is going to get messy.
336 pages.
Yeah, it's going to get messy.
All right.
Yeah, I've studied some of those in university because I did some accounting, so I had to look at some companies, their financial books, and I honestly did not really like it. It was very, very painful, and which is why I never really went in that field. I mean, I did a lot of the classes, and then I just said, just screw it all because I hate this. So that's, like, those long ass reports is one of the reasons why I never did this for a living.
That was tough.
Yeah, you look at mergers, acquisitions, goodwills, and there's all kinds of crap in there. So it really depends on the report you're looking at, but it's going to get painful. You just want to really look at the bottom, like the net number, see how much they made in sales, how much they made in profit, and that's basically it. The rest is garbage.
So before, because we're running over again as normal.
I think we had another topic, but I think we can end it here. We could just do the next one.
Well, it's just I just want to show the picture real quick.
So
I've got it pulled up.
Let's do it.
Pictures for the Uncharted movie. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's Nolan North and Tom Holland. There's a couple screen grabs from the movie. It looks very, action adventure-y. And then we got the famous shot of Tom Holland in the get up. So real quick, real fast opinions. What do you guys think of the Tom Holland, Nathan Drake casting?
I'll let Breeze go on this one.
I think it's alright. I'm not a massive Uncharted fan though, so I don't really care about it that much. But it looks better than I thought it was going to. But I was scared that Mark Wahlberg was going to play Sully, so this is better.
Oh, that would have been rough.
I don't have a strong opinion one way or another on it. So we'll see.
I think it's an origin, so I don't think his age is that. I think it's an origin, so I'm not really bothered about him being like a younger version of him.
That's what bothers me. I don't want an origin film. And we've already seen. Okay, I won't get too into it, but we've seen like that fan-made film with Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake, and like we've seen things that look better than this already, and I just don't understand because origin films always do so well. I don't understand why we have to go back and do the whole backstory. You know, for people who are going to see this essentially are gamers who have played the damn game. So just let's get into the story. You know, I don't know why.
Did they explain his origin in the games properly? I remember you play as him as a kid for a bit.
They have backstory. And stuff.
Yeah.
You learn about his past. So I don't know if we need a whole film about it. And I mean, I think that I don't know. That's fine.
How old is he meant to be, like in the game?
Not 24.
Not 24. I don't know. I can't remember.
24?
No, not 24. I would
say
think
it's
it's like
30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tom Holland's younger than I am. And I am not Nathan Drake age.
How old is he? Tom Holland.
Tom Holland? He was born in 96, so he's like 25, 24.
So he's older than me.
He's definitely older than me. But that's okay.
He's 40.
What?
Nathan Drake is supposed to be 40.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was in his 40s. He looks like a guy in his 40s, right? You know, all that life experience and stuff. He's just.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Holland can like act in different roles. He was in like a devil something film. He was all right in that. So he's not just like a goofy Spider-Man person. He can do other stuff.
Yeah, it's not so much him. I think he's fine, but it's just as the character and doing an origin thing. That's what I'm not really on board for.
My question is, I'm not sure about this, but is the movie going to be like proper canon to the game? Because that's not, it's not always how things work out either. Sometimes they can change things around a little bit for the movie. And so you could get a story that is different enough to kind of be its own story in a sense,
Yeah, I see him doing it like nothing to do with the game kind of thing. I see him like looking at the game a lot to do the thing, but I don't see him connecting it.
Because the game is, if you look at the game, Uncharted, and if you just think in general, what kind of game would translate well into a movie? Yeah, Uncharted is a pretty good game for that. It's like it's all about it's basically Indiana Jones.
It's Indiana Jones.
It's basically Indiana Jones. So you're like, okay, yeah, this could really work in a movie, right? It's like Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider.
Maybe that's why they made him younger.
Maybe
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Maybe it's possible. I'm not sure, but I think that the overall concept can do well in a movie. Like I said, I'm not. Look, if you ask me for my opinion, I'm pretty critical on everything that has to do with movies these days because most movies suck. Like let's be honest, most new movies that come out, it's all Marvel crap or some superhero crap. This probably will be more of the same. So I'm trying to keep an open mind here. But if you really want my opinion, then that's what it's gonna be. But I'm trying to keep an open mind, and I do think that the concept can work. In a kind of like in a fun adventure action kind of movie setting. I'll reserve judgment on the age gap for later. It will also depend a lot on the story and stuff. I don't know. I'll keep an open mind.
The director did Zombieland, Gangster Squad, Venom, so that's good. There's some good news there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Are you guys excited for it? One way or another?
I'll watch it. I don't know that I'm excited about it. I'll probably wait till it streams or something. I don't know if it's one of those have to see films for me. I went to go see Tomb Raider, so that gauges my my video game movie watching. I was excited for Tomb Raider. This I'm kind of nah.
Right on.
All right, any final thoughts? Anything before we get out of here?
Nope.
No. I think we're good, guys. You know, if anyone's watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. I forgot to say it early on. So hit that subscribe. Oh, okay, good. I can't see it, so I can't see it. I can only see you. I know you said at one point that you were gonna put something on your screen, but I can't see any of that, and I don't know if it's because we're on Discord and things just.
Yeah, it wasn't the screen sharing thing. Wasn't.
It wasn't. Best. Yeah. But yeah, so if anyone's still watching this, we've been going on for a long time. So if anyone's still here, hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing this as usual every week, every Friday. Yeah, that's it.
All right, we'll talk to you.